Excellent. Good day. God bless you all out there, whoever you may be. Welcome back to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. Today, we've got two very interesting gentlemen who are going to introduce themselves and tell you all about it. But the initiative that they are, I was going to say working on behalf, but volunteering and making happen is a really valuable community asset. And hopefully, it's a national initiative. Isn't it?
It is.
It's really something I've read about, heard about on radio shows, all sorts. So I was really intrigued, and I think particularly at this time in modern history, if we were to be so grand as to say modern history, time of a pandemic, I can't imagine that this hasn't come into its own even more. So without further ado, Trevor and Trevor, but you can give your surnames just in case the police see this and they want to know which Trevor it was that said it and what your roles are. But welcome here, gentlemen. Thank you.
I'm Trevor Bliss, and I'm the chairman, the trustee chairman of the Men's Shed, Chippenham. And this is.
I'm Trevor Eason, and I'm the treasurer for Chippenham Men's Shed, and I'm also a trustee of the Men's Shed charity.
Wow, fair play. So, next question is, tell everyone what the Men's Shed is and what's it wants to do and achieve.
The shed, in fact, is to try and bring, the guys together that are suffering loneliness and isolation. They come to us. They've all got different stories to tell. Some are divorced, some are widowed, and getting together with the guys, they tend to open up more to guys than they would probably outside. I mean, our age range is anything from 60s to 80s. We have a couple of senior, I'm 70, so they're slightly senior to me. Yes. So,
You guys are doing well. I want to have a brew.
So, we've got a varying age group. Our aim is to try and get guys together and sort of talk to each other. We've also, when we talk about the Chippenham Men's Shed, we associate Chippenham Men's Shed with workshops and making and mending and doing things. We are at the present moment at the Chippenham Rugby Club Pavilion. We have we've got on very good sort of terms with the rugby club. They've given us a 10-year lease. We are able. We have applied and we have been granted planning permission to put a workshop next door to the pavilion. We had a very nice, well-known architect in Chippenham who donated his time to draw up the plans, and he was so courteous to us, he even put in the planning permission for us, which we were granted.
Fantastic.
So, at the moment, we are in negotiations with the National Lottery. They've been down to see us about a fortnight ago, and they gave us various criteria that we have to meet so that we can go forward with our application for a lottery grant. Also, we have an allotment where the guys have been working down there at Cricket's Lane. They've done a fantastic job, totally redone it all. We've got park benches out there, we've got raised beds, we've got flowering beds where the guys can come down, and just sit down there. We'll make them a cup of coffee because we've got a portable gas stove down there. Nice. And they can have a cup of coffee, they can chill out, they don't have to do gardening if they don't like gardening. They just take in the ambience and talk to guys as well down there.
Yes.
What we're trying to do is also to get a lot of the younger members of society, guys 20s, 30s. So we've got this age range, a good mix and match of age range, so that they can all socially interact. At the moment we're planning, because we haven't got a shed at the moment, we're planning on sort of having activities where the guys can all go out together and do different things.
Yes, great.
Together, so that they're not just coming in and having a cup of tea. In the pavilion we've got full facilities in there to make them a cup of tea. We've got Graham, who's one of our disabled members. he does cakes and stuff, and so guys can have a cup of tea and a cake and just generally have a good chat.
Nice.
Last week we had the Mayor of Chippenham and the Assistant Mayor, she turned up last week. They were very impressed with us. We took lots of photographs of us and the Mayor together. We've had a lot of donations from big companies because a lot of people realise mental health issues. I mean, we're trying to redress that where guys, they can't open up to people, but they can open up to us.
Yeah.
We can talk about these things. I mean, when the lottery was here with us, and this was totally off the cuff, one of our elderly members turned around to the lottery and said that we'd saved them because, when he came, I first talked to him, he wanted, because his wife passed away and he was feeling extremely lonely. He said, oh my God, I just feel like topping myself. But we said, look, please don't do that. Come and talk to us and talk to the guys. And we've given him a purpose. He makes models and things and he brings them in. We have them on display. Next week we've got an open day where the public can come and see us and see some of the products that the guys have made at home, albeit they're not being made on site yet. But it gives them an indication of the skills that these guys have got. And a lot of the older guys have got so many skills that they can then pass over to the younger generation. And if we can get the money together for this workshop, we can pass those skills on to the younger generation. And I think that we would then be a really integral part of the local community. And we would, we can then pass those skills over and give the younger generation something back which they can use. Because I really do believe that as well that we sort of are helping guys to get their mental issues and stresses out. I mean, at this time of the year, God knows we're all going to be under so much stress come April, where we've got high sky rates, this, that, electricity and everything else, and people are going to be so stressed out. It's nice to come to us and they can just de-stress. They can go down here and just chill out and just relax and have a good time, and talk to other guys. I mean, overall, I think that we would give back to the local community a heck of a lot more, and get guys, you guys out there that are suffering stress, come to us, and talk to other guys, and you will be pleasantly surprised. We're a friendly bunch, and we are planning to do things. We do work for the rugby club as well. They've got their own allotments as well at the back.
We give advice.
We give advice and we do things for them as well. So overall, I think we're trying very hard to serve the community, and I think this is something that has been seen by the rugby club because they've given us 100% their support by allowing us to build another building next door to the pavilion, so that we can be an integral part of the local community. That's really well.
You're saying about the elderly gentleman staying to the lottery. It's actually, you're saving the state, aren't you? National Health Service money.
It's making
aren't you? If you'll get in a situation where people can have that intervention in a really relaxed and approachable and accessible way, you can have you said it yourself. If they're talking to you guys and you're all sharing ideas and experiences, particularly around grief, which is an absolute, obviously, terribly impacting emotion, and who knows how long it lasts. So actually, it's really valuable what you're doing. What's the lottery saying? What's the sort of feedback?
Well, we're in negotiations with the lottery at the moment, so
because it's a perfect idea.
They like it, but we've got to put a prospect together so that we can prove to them that we are a useful community centre. One of the things with the lottery is they want it to be open to the whole of the community.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
which in a way does create a problem, because fundamentally the men's shed was originated in Australia for men that had lost.
It was, yes.
Yeah, in Australia. There was guys that lost the camaraderie
Yeah,
of the workplace.
yeah.
And once they retired, I found it myself actually, once you retire from work, you lose all your mates and all your friends at work.
That social structure as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
And you lose all that.
yeah,
And you'll find men will sit at home and they'll go in their garden shed and they'll tinker about.
is that where it's come
Women,
from?
you know, women are slightly different. I think they're more outgoing than men, and they chat and they mix together better than men. Men only talk really to men, yeah, especially about their health issues.
Yeah.
And you will get it at the shed. They will come there and they will tell us about what they're going through.
Yeah.
You know, and it's quite an important thing. The one guy that they were talking about that was married for 60 years. His only soulmate, and she died, I think it was about 12 months ago, and the guy was utterly lost.
Bless him.
And what's the place? The Hub in Chippenham. One of the members there said to them, "Go to the men's sheds and have a look at the men's shed."
Yeah.
And he came to us. We can't stop him going there. 'cause he absolutely
Don't
loves
tell me his name's Trevor, right?
it. Yeah.
It's the Trevors.
And yeah, he's a different guy. He
Yeah,
really
I
is
bet.
a different guy.
I bet. What a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked in case there's any Australians watching this.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it started. When did it start in Australia?
You're probably talking about back in 2010 or something like that, yeah.
But there's
The difference with the Australian one is their government supports
Right.
their sheds.
That seems like
They fund them.
Yeah. Do you not think that you should do it here?
I can't agree.
I agree, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, there's a big thing now about stress, mental health, and God knows, you know, there's going to be a hell of a lot more mental stress
100%.
for
Already know,
everybody.
yeah. After this,
Everybody's
yeah.
going to suffer from mental
Yeah.
stress. And I think you need an outlet for that
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
I mean, last week, when the mayor was there, we actually started up doing computer lessons for the elderly.
That's another thing I do.
We
interesting.
Wiltshire Tech very kindly has given us a loan of about 20 laptops.
Fair play to them.
So last year, because we had COVID, I'd already made up prefabricated computer tables I bought online and made them up ready. And so we've got a good setup there. I mean, when the mayor came, we had laptops there and we had guys sat there and we were sorting out their problems on the internet. Because I strongly believe that, you know, when you're lonely and you're on your own, the internet is a good outlet for looking at things and perhaps trying to make contact.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, because there are so many villains out there that want to steal and rip us off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need all to be told about computer
Yeah.
safety.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there are an awful lot of bogus sites and people willing to do that. And the joy of then coming back to us and being able to sit at a laptop, I've got a problem, you know, about paying my bills online, and so, which is now in the forefront. Everybody does it because all major companies want you to pay online rather than go to that. Same with the banks, they want you to go online because it saves them money because you're doing it on the internet. We can then sort of help them. You know, one week they say, "Oh, I've got to pay my bill, whatever." We can show them how to do that.
That's
and we've
useful.
got these laptops there which we put in there, and we can beam it. We've got a massive TV screen in the
If I can come into that one.
and we can beam that on there.
Yeah.
We've also got our own websites as well. We're on Google. We've got our own website, which people can find us on Chippenham Men's Shed CIO. If they Google that,
Yeah. We'll put this information on the screen
they
as well.
they can get to us, and also it shows the details about the shed, the news, updates, and so on and so forth. But also shows about the allotments as well. You know, where they can. There's another outlet.
Yeah.
If you like gardening, that's the place to go down.
Yeah.
You know, we've got guys down there. I think today they're muck spreading. I think it's on the allotment.
Well,
but
it's got to be done.
it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Gotta be done.
But you know, a local farmer said, "Oh, come round. You can have it for free." You know, so we goes down there, and our guys are doing it as we speak. So basically, we've got everything in place. We've got park benches. We've got everything in there. We go down there, and it's immaculate at the moment. But in the summer, it's going to be a mixture of flowers, blooms.
Wow.
So there's lots of colour,
Lovely.
and there'd be obviously the growing of vegetables and doing the practical stuff
Yeah.
as well. So it gives people an outlet to something to do
Yeah.
down there.
I come in there. Because we haven't got a workshop as such, and until we get that, we're more of a community gathering. But the guys have music lessons.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There's Hubert, we call him our music
Oh, he's
man.
great, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is a talented boy as
You
well.
know-
right?
you know him,
He is,
yeah.
yeah. He doesn't.
And he will teach.
Very talented.
He's
very
teaching a
talented.
couple of guys to play music.
Well, there's a good person
Yeah.
to be doing it. He's cracking.
We have computers that they can use, when they come. So it's not all about making and mending.
Yeah.
It's all about other skills.
Yeah.
And the computer one is an important
Vital,
one
isn't it? Vital.
because we've got
Everything you said
Wi-Fi. We
about it,
actually
and the
got
fraud is everything about it.
because we actually got Wi-Fi into the pavilion.
Fair play.
Because one of our guys put it up there for the rugby club, so they could get their till working
Yeah.
up there, and that's where, to put a score, that's where we scored with the rugby club. and,
Good try. Mhm.
And it's become, and we can do presentations with their TVs and so forth.
One thing I'm keen to ask: do you brew your own?
No alcohol is allowed in the shed.
I meant
Sorry
tea,
about
boys.
that.
I meant tea. No,
Yeah.
I know. So okay. So what would be, not just in Chippenham, but because there's a few around the country, isn't there? These.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be because I love the idea about the computers. That's totally it. And because for me, I think I had the same idea that the shed wasn't necessarily a shed, but it was the idea of where single men might go into a shed, and I bet my wish is I did more often, to do something useful. Men have maybe a radio in there, mend something or make something or whatever, and then they're in there for whatever thing. Now the idea of everyone coming together and maybe doing a project, but the talking's the most important part, isn't it? The actual camaraderie. So there isn't a kind of, you've got to be able to garden or you've got to be able to do woodwork. There's no pre-requirement. You could someone like myself could turn up and just sit there and...
There are guys that come and say, I can't do DIY, I don't want to.
I'm two of them.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh, I don't know about don't want to, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
They
Some
do
people are
let
very...
happen.
So it's a shared skills as well.
Yeah.
Well, we've got.
But then come along, and that's another thing we've got. We've got a couple of poets there as well, and they do recitals.
Oh, brilliant poet.
Yeah.
We've got some
Fantastic.
fantastic poets.
Yeah. So it's
Because we do performances here, we film them and all sorts. Maybe get them in contact with us because you do an online open mic as well. We have poets and musicians, and a physical one at Revo we have once a month. But we have live performances here because we also then thought, well, loads of people won't have starting to come out of almost say hiding then, but you know what I mean, from the pandemic, come back into a social space. Well, actually, this has been fantastic because it's right in the heart of Chippenham. It's accessible by everyone. It's on the ground, on the ground level, and there's lots of different sorts of workshops, art workshops, poetry workshops, making and mending, all sorts of stuff here. But performances. People think, well, you're going to Dorothy Perkins for a performance. It's like, yeah, because we will have young people. We work with lots of right across the community. And we'll have regular performances, and it almost takes people by surprise. Next thing they realise, that they're in the centre, they're in the shopping centre, and they're being entertained. So the poetry is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
What else? What other? Do you do photography and? God, do you know? I don't suppose is it a good idea to come and film at the men's shed to give the idea of what you're saying?
Yeah.
We've invited photographers if they want to come, and we've said to them, come along and teach the guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're there for you to teach the guys.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah.
You know, you're all welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest sort of hobby stroke interests amongst the members is? If there is one, doesn't it? I mean,
Well, we've got a couple of guys that are extremely brilliant, and I have to say, of doing carvings with wood. There's one guy in particular he brings in some of his woodworking carvings, and he actually sells a few online, but he bought a load in the other day when the mayor was there for him to look, and they are so beautifully intricate and carved, you know, like oak, piece of sliced oak, and he's turned it into a clock.
Wow.
You know, and the skill set to do that is just amazing. Plus we've got an artist, and I think you guys probably know him, Jeff Gibbons.
I do know. Was Jeff in here? Yes.
He is a fantastic artist, and he bought some of his pictures and that for the mayor to see down there. So we've got this diversity of skills that, you know, could be so easily passed on and
absolutely, that's
the
golden.
But we, you know, one of the things that are holding us back now, we've got the planning permission, we've got the drawings and everything else, and we've, you know, to do the build. It's just the funding that we're now trying to get. I mean, I would love companies to sponsor us because, you know, the kudos they would get by sponsoring us, especially with mental health and everything else.
Oh, 100%.
So bringing people together.
Yeah.
And that's why I would say to people out there, don't stay at home and be depressed. You know, if you want to come out and talk to guys, I mean, we do have in some of our other men's sheds, we have ladies as well come along. Yeah. You know, I mean, we're inclusive. Yeah. You know, so, you know, we want to benefit the whole community as such. Yeah. You know, albeit I know it says men's shed, but we're a community-based organisation, you know, up there, which we want to give something back to the community.
Well, I was going to say, it's not as if you're just doing it for yourselves and keeping it to yourselves. You've already said that. But I think, personally, if we all live in the same community and the more people that are helping each other, the less we have to worry about the NHS or mental health, the council. It doesn't matter. There isn't enough of that support anyway. So if we can't do it as a community, and we're gregarious animals, human beings generally like to be together. And I think that, you said it yourselves, retiring, you've got that whole structure where you get on with certain people, you see them every day, you have the office parties, there's a structure to your life and the idea of a sense of purpose. I love the idea that you're talking about passing on the skills, because we've always talked about having a community cafe where, and we talk to young people about it, you know, we say senior citizens are gold, so they've got all this information about how to grow every crop you can think of, but after a certain point, and I'm feeling it myself, your joints and your things, you can't do it. All that knowledge is up here. We've got all our young people, which we work with loads, who said, yeah, they'd do that. If they could learn how to plant and grow stuff, which we've got an allotment, we do that with them as well. But in people's back gardens. So it would be, you know, whoever, if you plant this, dig it down, plant this, blah, 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 tell them everything they need to know, pass it on, and when all the crops come up, you give the household as much as they need, and then with a community cafe, then the excess goes there, and then you have a daily vegetable soup, for instance. Now, if you were a contributor to that community cafe, you'd have a card, so every time you went in there, everything you had would be cheap. Yeah, it'd be at a discount. But actually, for me, as much as the sort of benefit of all these different gardens that are now would be turned into what they would be, a vegetable patch or whatever, it's the knowledge, and that's what you're saying. So what would be the age group now of your?
I would say it's from 60s.
The average at the moment is, I think they range from 65 to 86 at the moment.
Right.
But we would love to get people of all ages so that we've got that mix, because there's so many, as I say, the older guys can pass on.
As I say, it's gone, isn't it? Where's
skills.
that knowledge go otherwise?
And I think loneliness.
Yeah.
People don't want to admit they're lonely. Especially guys.
Yeah.
But loneliness is a pretty horrible thing to have, because you start to lose hope.
Yeah.
You're under stress. You've got that big bubble that is bursting to get out, and I think you need an outlet to do that. And I think if guys can come over to us and say, look, I'm so stressed, but if they start talking to people about the problems, and guys tend to open up more to guys, but also of all generations, of all ages, everybody's suffering from stress, especially 100%. These days. And I think it'd be good for them as an outlet, but also, they can sort of then start to communicate a bit more, and you don't feel that you're literally on your own.
You're in the same boat, literally.
Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, I love it. Well, the same shed in this case.
Well, the same shed.
So what I'm going to do is invite you
to
come and do a podcast at the men's shed when you're ready.
So I'm thinking what we do is we do the second half of this. We arrange to come up, and then what will happen is, so people will see this, then the next, zoom, we did this yesterday, zoom, we're in another place with the same people going, now, we told you, this is the screen, this is the thing, when can we do that? Because I'll do it as soon as possible. I love it. When do you meet generally?
On
Tuesdays.
Tuesday, what time?
12:30 to 1500.
We can do that next Tuesday? Are you there next Tuesday?
Yeah, but this is the I think we're going to be busy next Tuesday because it's an open day.
Well, we've got an open day where we're inviting the public to come and see us.
Perfect.
And
I'll do
to
this
see
anytime.
what we're,
This is
to
great.
See what we're, to see what we're about.
Right. What about fundraising? You're saying about your man with the clocks and the thing. You could have a stall here.
Yeah.
So part of it's awareness. So just have your leaflets and what have you.
Yeah.
But if you've got anything you want to sell to raise money towards it, or just awareness, not bothered, you can come and do talks here. By the way, so you can say, look.
Yeah, we didn't know this.
Oh, I know. Who did you speak to from us? Oh,
I think. Well, I'm in close contact with a guy called Matt Stab.
Yes, it's Matt.
Matt.
He's a legend. I love that guy.
He is a legend.
He is a legend. Brilliant. That's what I knew.
The last time I talked to Matt, it was 2 years ago when the COVID epidemic was on. I was outside the opticians, and Matt gave me a ring, and I tried to talk to him, get him to come over, but obviously with COVID, it just wasn't possible because it was self-isolating.
Yeah.
But I spoke to Matt in general about, getting more disabled people interested in coming out of their shell, because a lot of disabled do feel isolated. Yeah. They're on their own.
At the best of times, isn't it?
And,
At the best of times they do.
Restricted. And basically Matt came across a couple of weeks ago to see us, and we did a talk, and I got to meet him again after 2 years. I remember our conversation 2 years ago, and I was in regular contact with him by email.
Yeah.
And he's one of his representatives is coming across to see us on the open day next week. So we're there next Tuesday, and she'll be there as well, just to see how the land lays.
That's brilliant. Okay, so listen, we'll do it at your convenience. I'm not bothered. I just want to get as much information, and what will help, obviously, because this goes on Spotify. Just like if you hear Radio 4 when they're out and about, you get the amount. You can think, well, if you're listening to it, you can hear the information. If you're watching it, we can see what you're talking about, where you're at, some of the stuff you're talking about. There's no rush with this because we'll put this out when you want. But you can come here and kind of have a open day, if you like, here. We do it with the Royal British Legion. Anyone, just here. What you're helping the society. Go on then. What you got? Either we set up a PA. You can have a formal talk, or we film that as well, or you can just have a cup of tea round here and just tell people they're coming in. By the way, here's a little leaflet. This is what's going on.
Could I say I'd like to thank Chippenham Town Council, who made a generous donation to us for some computers for this computer lessons. That was a couple of years ago, but then we had COVID, we were all shut down, we couldn't do anything. And now that we're back, you know, their money helped us to get a couple of decent computers that people can use and go online. And one of the, I think at the time, the mayor at that time said she was all for upscaling the elderly.
Upskilling
the elderly.
Doesn't sound right.
Upscaling the elderly.
That sounds a bit rough, if you don't mind. Descaling the elderly.
But she was all for, basically.
Was that Sandy by any chance?
No, it was. Oh, I've forgotten the name now.
Desna.
That's the way.
Oh, God bless her.
It was Desna.
Oh, we like a bit of Desna, don't we?
And Desna. So I was well pleased.
She loves me.
Support that we
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, that's good, and rightly so. I think it's a good use of any lottery, whatever, because you said it yourselves. Talking about a major challenge to everyone, but each thing has to be dealt with differently. So if we work with young people with mental health, or we do it in a context with they're comfortable and whatever. Yeah, and we do work with senior citizens and everything in different projects, without a doubt. But you kind of have to allow people to be comfortable in their environment. So what harm a place where men, and without wishing to sound, I don't know what this sounds like, but let's imagine we pick the bones out of it sometime in the edit, that people have to be able to be allowed to feel comfortable. And if they're going to come out into an environment where absolutely they're going to come out better when they finish having that interaction, where people care, have a knowledge that maybe they're feeling reluctant to come out, maybe they haven't talked, shared grief, shared perspective, shared ideas, shared histories sometimes, but the idea that you're not alone.
No, not.
No.
And I think that's so important. It's so important. It's like you walk in football.
Yeah.
Now, bizarrely, I still play football with the teenagers. I should use the ball because it's against the law to kick them, apparently. But I'm starting to learn how to do that. Anyway, I do that on a weekly basis. And the fact that I can still walk but I would, the idea of walking football came about, it just made so much sense. Because at least you'll be able to have the opportunity to do something you like. Now that can be the same as golf. I don't care what sport really, but in your case, you're bringing people together who will have differing and similar ideas, and it's just got to be a win-win.
It is. Just to bring in the money, we're looking to raise in the region of between 50 and 60,000 for this building.
Right.
Because it's not a cheap thing, and that's our intention. So if you're out there and you want to sponsor us, let us know.
I'll tell you what might be an idea. Get Hubert and the boys to do a gig in here.
And we'll mention it to Hubert.
Do it.
No
Do it.
doubt.
I saw him the other day, but do it. I'm saying anything like that.
Yeah.
£60,000 chip, and it's the drips that fill the pot. So great, the lottery, fantastic, but actually it should happen regardless. So
that's what we've always said.
yeah, definitely. So we will definitely support you in that, publicising it, give you a stall. It's not a stall, is it? Wherever it is here, that you can put the information, and if I don't know, the clocks, the wood carvings, the art, poetry recital, people come and put some money in a pot. Don't care. The pot will get filled. And if people get and they come in here, because they come in here, lots of people, all age groups, all abilities, disabilities, come in. If you guys are doing a presentation, or if someone's singing, and they'll know they're still at a gig, aren't they? Yeah. Then there's information. It's like, all right, this is good. Put the money in. Now, let's make use of it while we can. So this won't be here forever. Obviously, it's a really useful community hub. But your place will be. It will be a permanent place, and I think that is absolutely important.
Yeah, I'll come on to that, because one of the reasons we want to build our shed and own our shed, we want to own it, because if you go, take Carnmen's shed, they were established in Hills, waste disposal area.
Fair play.
But they were asked to move because Hills wanted it for their bigger premises.
Yeah.
and they had great trouble finding another place,
Right.
and they're now
Cut out the
in the
middleman.
shop in Caen at the Borough Shop. This is what we don't want to do. We don't want to
Get it.
rent
Yeah.
or be obliged to a landlord
Yeah.
that decides, excuse me,
Yeah.
I've got someone else
Yeah.
to come in here.
Yeah.
That's why we want to build
Yeah.
our own shed.
Yeah.
And we're going to own it,
Yeah.
and we can do what we want to do
Yeah.
with it.
And that.
And that's the importance.
Yeah, no,
of it.
really important.
Yeah.
Really important. I think that even for the mental health of the people that, like
Yeah.
yourselves, that run an organisation like that,
Yeah.
that's always there, isn't it? That
Because
thing that-
if you own the building, that building can be there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
yeah, yeah.
And it belongs to the community.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
agree.
not just the mention, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
community.
Exactly.
And that's what we're
Exactly.
aiming for.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. So, we will come at your request to come and film the second half of this.
Yeah.
We could put this out. This is an interesting, for people who don't know the men's shed, this is already interesting.
Yeah.
For people that want to see more, we will arrange to come on a Tuesday when it's convenient and film so people go, oh right, I get it. They can really visualise it. Maybe the allotment as well.
Mr. Gibbons, Jeff Gibbons, he's the founder member of the Chippenham Men's Shed back in 5 or 6 years ago, so he's
very
quite...
much like Deliverance.
Isn't it?
Stupid banjo.
Yeah, isn't it? It is.
We had a hospital radio broadcast that went
I'm
out,
not good on camera.
Talk of the Town on Monday.
Yeah.
That was over the airwaves between 10 and 12. It was an interview that was taken when we did a charity event at the Neil Hall just before Christmas.
Wicked.
And they getting over the airways, but because of COVID and everything else. But they put it on Monday, and we can actually have a copy of it.
Yeah. On the
It's
sound
online.
thing.
Yeah, we put it on Talk of the Town. Yeah.
Cool. Well done. So hopefully this will support that whole information. People know what you are. And the gentleman that might not know.
It's called An End to War, and it's just my feelings on sort of spreading equal opportunities, happiness, sharing what we've got, basically, the world and obviously it goes like this. Onward on, onward on, onward on. Not for queen and country just, nor but apart, but for bleat of lamb and coo of dove, yet not for love alone, my love. All peoples together, city, town and farm, come peaceful folk, link arm in arm. Waken, so as to hold the doubters meek, you have to let the people speak. So spread the message, cast the seed, to each according to his need. Then let us see the people freed from hatred, fear and wanton greed. And feed the passion, let it spread around the world so all are fed. Soon, who knows, a commonwealth or freedom from prejudice itself. Or what a blessing that would be, to see the man as he sees me, all equal unto God, whatever gifts bestowed thereof. And this alone, my love, may still the crying of the dove. To hold to which we hold so tight, freedom from famine, pestilence and blight. No war, industrial slaughter, except to hold the peace and keep the children safe, 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 and children's children. Cry man and wife, for love of God and lack of strife, no more war.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bravo.
There are places I remember all my life. Those some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some all these friends and lovers. There is no one compares to you. All these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that have gone before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more.
Thank you. And let's think about doing some public information,
Yeah, thanks
some
for that.
presentations,
We should do,
poetry, whatever. Here. Yeah.
Okay. With the allotment isn't going to be an issue to film down there.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, I should be down there because the allotment's actually, because I'm the treasurer, it's in my name for that, because
Yeah.
I do all the paying up for each year for that. But I know we've got one of our disabled guys, Graham. He's been a great help with the allotment. He's very knowledgeable about plants and everything else. And despite his disability, we do have to have boundaries for Graham because obviously he is disabled.
Yeah.
So we say that little bit is safe, that one's not safe.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
that, and we are at the moment. I'm waiting for the go-ahead from the allotment society to put in some grab rails for there. But
Yeah.
because I had to say to them, look, I said to the allotment warden, I want to put some grub, but they won't be permanent. I said because obviously they'll be putting a pot with post mix in there, so at least they're rigid. You know, so I'm just waiting for them to say yes, you can do it. So
Fair play.
hopefully, if you're listening out there, say yes. Say yes, because I
Right.
really do want to get some.
No, fair play.
But-
So we'll leave it at this juncture. If we don't get back to film anymore, this is a great little podcast, and I've got to thank you for that. Because trust me, part of what we're trying to do is be a community organisation that reaches all the different parts, helps people who haven't got the technology sometimes to communicate, or we put on events with them, with lots of different organisations, because we do that regularly. So having PAs or doing publicity or getting audiences, usually, particularly for brilliant things like you're doing, is something that we're inspired to do because it's re-inspiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say on behalf of Can Do, thank you, Trevor and
That's
Trevor,
okay.
Men's Shed Chippenham, and hopefully next time we see each other, we'll be at the rugby club,
Yes.
not in the bar, right? No.
Cups of tea.
We've got for tea though, right?
Cups
Or
of
Got for
coffee.
tea. Nice one, Jeff.